Now, Jean, Bill tells stories about Dr. Currie.
Oh, good
And
grief.
he tells about having a sore throat and how he'd go get his throat painted or sprayed or
No,
something.
it
Tell,
was-
tell about Dr.
He had
Currie.
sulfur and an atomizer type thing. And I'd have a sore throat, and I knew what was going to happen. And I'd put it off because that was the worst stuff. But you were well the next day. So
That's what
it had
Bill
to be
said.
good. But I go in there and open my mouth and then squirt that stuff.
He was really proud of it. He loved to do that.
He loved to do that.
He mixed it up. It was his
It
own
was some of
concoction.
his stuff.
He would spray it in you, and then he'd say, "Now, why are you here?"
So Vicki Lynn, what happened when you went to see Dr.
You'd
Currie?
go to Dr. Currie, and he would spray that stuff in you. And then he'd say, "Now, how can I help you?"
Like, you did this to me, and now you just scored that stuff in
And
me.
he'd say, "My knee is skin. I'm afraid it's infected."
Me, it just sprayed your throat.
So wait a minute. So he would spray your throat,
He just shoot a puff of it.
even if you didn't have a sore throat. You just go in for
no.
something
No,
else.
he
No,
did
he-
Spray your
that.
throat?
He did that when you had a sore throat too.
Now tell
But my
about
shots.
tell about getting shots, your vaccinations.
As soon as school was out every year, most kids would say, 10 days to school's out, 5 days to school's out. And all I'm thinking about, I don't want it to get here. Because I knew I had to go to Dr. Currie. You had to have 2 shots at the beginning of summer. Tick shot and a typhoid shot. Tick shot was nothing. Typhoid made you sick as a dog and you took to your bed. You'd run a fever. Plus the fact Dr. Currie was never able to give me a shot in his office. And everybody in
Why
town would
was-
think,
why was
oh,
that?
let's go to the drugstore and watch Dr. Currie Chase. Wonder where she's going to be this time when he
So you
gets her
wouldn't
shot.
go to the office?
No, I don't know why. It was just one of those things. I guess I thought it wasn't going to hurt if I didn't go in his office, or it wouldn't actually happen. He'd catch me in the hall. I got wedged behind the big drink container in the drugstore. One time I made it to the door and I was just running through the door and Daddy came up about that time. My leg was out sticking out and Daddy slammed the screen door and I couldn't move my leg and Dr. Currie popped me with a needle. So that was a story that would go around town.
We were
Oh,
all-
she's
you know,
going to get a shot. Let's go watch.
All the kids were
So
scared
did
of
you
that
have
needle.
trouble getting shots, Uncle Henry, or was it easy for you?
I got tricked.
You
couple
got
of
tricked?
times, too,
What
yeah.
happened?
The best trick
The
he
best.
did on me was
Granddaddy did.
Dad was the depot agent. He also did the Western Union Telerity, and so he knew I needed a shot for something. I think it was I had been going swimming in some
You needed
places
that
where I
shot.
should, yeah. And so I needed some kind of shot that Dad knew I needed, and he and Dr. Currie talked about it. And he said just send him over, and Daddy knew that I wouldn't,
Just go.
that I didn't want to have any part of that. And so, but he knew how I loved to deliver telegrams. I mean, I thought that was
That's a big deal.
that was the stuff, you know. I mean, I was somebody, and so he gave me a fake telegram and said, "Go over and give this to Dr. Currie." And so we used to, we used to try to go back there, you know, just to see what he was doing, the doctor or what. And they said, "You have to go. You cannot do that. You come around through the drugstore and tell Mag what you got to do, Mag McDonald, and then she will take you back there if Dr. Curry's not busy or something, you know." And so, see, I had a telegram, and so I said, "I don't want to have to go through Miss Maggie. I got a telegram, you know. I just go right on in there, Dr. Curry. I got a telegram for you." And he said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Hop on that table there." Hop up on that table. I said, "Sir?" He said, "Hop up on the table." I said, and then he said, he loved to do that.
Squirt that thing out there.
He'd take that thing and show you their needle, and he said, that juice would fly up out. I said, by God, I said, you sit there. But I don't want that. And see,
You got your
Pop
shot.
Sit in, yeah. And they just laughed about telling them.
But the crazy thing about me being so afraid of it, at the same time, I never, ever felt the needle because he put the alcohol on the swab and he talked to me and he'd be rubbing my arm where he was going to give me a shot. And with his other hand, he'd ease the needle up under and he was still rubbing my arm. I never felt anything.
That's good.
But I still put him through the dickens trying to catch me to give me a shot.
But he had the best time kidding with, kidding with us about that needle. He loved to do that. And he actually had a big fake,
Oh my gosh, I'd
what's
forgotten
it called?
about
Fake
that.
needle?
the part with the,
Syringe.
with the long syringe thing. It was a big old thing, almost like a fly. And he'd get that thing out, and you'd say, oh my goodness, It looks like everything. And then he just sort of, I just want to.
He had a wonderful sense of
He
humor.
loved to pick on
He had a neat bench right in front of his office on the sidewalk. And it was like you would picture McDonald's or Hardee's now where older people come and gather. Well, every afternoon there were 4 or 5 older men in town that always sat on that bench in the afternoons and they'd sit there and talk and talk. Well, Dr. Currie got this brilliant idea to wire
Put
that
him a little-
bench.
Put him a little electric wire.
He had an electric wire. He hooked it up under the bench and ran the thing through the window back into the waiting room. And he waited in there with his little whatever
Switch.
button, switch. Waited for those poor innocent men to sit down. They'd been sitting there talking in the bush. And then Dr. Currie juiced them.
He liked to get it anybody.
They would just holler and jump up in the air.
But
He
he
thought that was so
he
funny.
could do
That's
practical,
scary.
but he couldn't take it a joke. He could. If you ever got, tried to fool him with something, that wasn't
He didn't
that
like
wasn't kosher. And he didn't like that.
It was
Now-
a one-way thing.
Did your dad do practical jokes?
Yeah, Dad was good too.
Was it? What kind of
Yeah.
practical jokes did you
Yeah,
do?
he
Yeah,
and Dr. Currie were close. I mean, they were good. They were good buddies. Dad would. What
I don't remember
What was
anything
one of
he
the
did.
things?
Well, he didn't
One
do
of his
anything
favorite
big.
things to do was he loved to go fish on the pier, on the fishing pier down at the beach. And when they started using, some of the guys would come out with a what they call a surf casting rod. It's the rod was stuck out about 18 inches or so behind where the reel was. And so you'd set the reel
Under your arm.
and the rods would be sticking out like this, and Dad would pick out the ones, that looked like they were expecting a bite, He'd time it, he could time it just right. And as he would walk along the pier, like when it's catching spot, there was a lot of people, there's just a lot of chances he'd have, and he'd catch them just right. And you wouldn't even realize what he was doing. You're just walking along with him going, to find your place to fish. And Dad would go along, he'd catch one just like he just hit the back of that rod, and it felt just like him. He was getting like they were getting
They
a
think
bite.
they really had something.
Yeah, then they would say, come on, Daddy. Then we'd go and set the hook, and Daddy'd walk on back, let back in. And by then, he's already gonna bump somebody else. He'd never get caught. He'd just keep walking.
So, Vicki Lynn, what kinds of things did Dr. Currie do to you besides the?
He probably didn't pick
Sulfur.
on her.
No, he didn't pick on me. I remember being terrified because I don't ever remember going to Dr. Currie. You didn't get a shot.
Is that
Every
right?
time, I can't imagine a time you didn't go for physicals or anything like that. You just went when you needed a shot. Who